Hello everybody and welcome back to Ruler 101. This week we're covering another wind ruler, so you know the power's gonna be off the charts. But let's just jump right into it. Boom! Liberator of Wind. Look at her, she's adorable. She's just a little girl reading a book. That's it. She doesn't do anything else. We can all go home. She does do something. She has one of my favorite effects in the entire game. I have loved this ability. At the beginning of the game, search your Magic Stone deck for a card. Then, shuffle the rest of your Magic Stone deck and put that card on top of it. So, every game you're going to begin, your first stone is going to be whatever you want. Whatever you want. It doesn't matter, like, it really helps either rainbow decks that want to go really wide on colors. You can get that one stone that you need. And it really helps decks that use certain stones. For example, Moonshade. Or other things like that. Maybe you want like a stone of the Dark Castle, so you can throw some mystery counters on your ruler. Just, to get that, really started right. But anyway, it's an amazing ability. It's wonderful. She also has a J-Activate ability, though, and she has an even better side. Alright, J-Activate. Pay 1 and 2 green. So, for 3 will, you flip. She doesn't have any reduction, which is kind of unfortunate. But... boom. Scheherazade. Not that one. Flip it again. Good. Scheherazade, the teller of 1001 stories. She is a Wanderer J-Ruler, attack 700, defense 800. Enter. Search your main deck for a card and put it in your hand, then shuffle your main deck. Amazing ability right off the bat, searching for any one card. You don't have to reveal it. It doesn't have to be a certain type. Really good for 3 will. For a 3 will flip, really good. She also has Activate. Draw 2 cards, or Rest, obviously. Draw 2 cards if you have no cards in your hand. So this is an amazing ability because a lot of decks burn out really fast. It doesn't a lot of them, you can ramp as hard as you want, but when you start ramping out all that, you're gonna run out of your cards super fast. Or in burn decks, you run out of cards and you just it's frustrating beyond belief, and I hate it. But this allows you to remedy that and really keep strategies that burn out continuing. Far after they would normally have just straight up lost because they were top decking for the entire game. Now, between those abilities, you can run a really sparse, crazy deck because you can always search for the one card you need, and you can always get the stone that you need. This is a ruler about having exactly what you need when you need it, and I find that amazing. So, I built one of my favorite deck strategies to go along with it. It's called the World Strategy. It revolves all around one beautiful card, which is up there right now. Alice's World. It is an addition field for 2 blue and 6. Almost got that wrong. But for a total of 8 will, it's an addition field. Also, for each resonator you control that doesn't share a race with any other resonator you control, you may pay 1 less to play it. So, you have a Tama, you've got a Sacred Elf, and you've got a Lorite. So, the Tama is your only cat/familiar. That reduces it by 1. But then, you've got your Sacred Elf and your Lorite. Unfortunately, they're both elves, so they don't count. So, total reduction 1. But if you have, say, a Sacred Elf, a Tama, and, I don't know, some kind of fairy, that is a total reduction of 3, or if you have a varied resonator deck, this card can be put out for super cheap. But what's all the hubbub about? Why are you paying so much? It's Enter ability. Enter. Take an extra turn after this one. So I made that. Look at that is a very, very good ability. Just an extra turn. An extra turn. Then that's the strategy. Basically, the strategy for world decks is to go as wide as possible, get as many resonators with different names, and then take a turn, take a turn, take a turn, take as many turns as you need until you finally just destroy or just end your opponent. It's primo, amazing strategy. I love it. It's beautiful. But, it was really hard to come up with a deck for this because the original world strategy involves, is called Feasting's World. And that's Feasting Turbo deck that also runs Alice's World. And that's kind of really niche. A lot of cards for it were banned. So you really can't run that anymore. But I have come up with an amazing strategy. Because of Scheherazade's / Liberator of Wind's amazing will-fixing ability, you could run Resonators of tons of different colors and not worry about it. So, let's jump right into the Resonators, starting with your dorks. First of all, Sacred Elf. Boom. Really self-explanatory, 1-drop, mana dork elf. Next up, we have another dork. Boom. Alkalite of the Sun. Attack 200, defense 200, rest, produce a white. It's a white dork. It's one of the newer cards, and it looks pretty cool. But, again, 1-drop dork, mana dork. Then we have, as mentioned previously, Tama, the adorable kitty cat that draws you a card for 1 green. But then we have the Tama that isn't a Tama. Boom! Venus, Magus of the Metal Star. When this card enters your field, choose 1. Reveal any number of historical cards from your hand. Put X +1/+1 counters on it for each card revealed this way. Or draw a card. Again, she's Tama-like. She costs 1. You draw a card off of her. You see a theme here. She also, different red. Sacred Elf, different is an elf. Alkalite of the Sun is a human. Tama, familiar cat. Venus, 7 luminaries mage / historical. That's 4 different Resonators with different will types. Also, 2 of those are mana dorks, so that's 6. What is that? No, I can't do math with my hands. That's 6 will towards that. So you only have to have 2 stones at that point. And this can be gotten out by turn 3? Yeah, turn 3. So you're going to start taking those turns very soon. But then we have Lowly Spirit Bug. 1 blue for a Resonator Insect Soul. Attack 100, defense 100, swiftness. When this card enters the field, draw a card. Really weird card. It's a blue card. It's a soul, so you know. But it has swiftness on a 1/1 blue card. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, but it's a 1-drop. It draws you a card. Okay, so I shotgun through those really fast because they all were basically the same thing. All 1-drop Resonators that you can put out that either draw you a card or ramp you mana. Both really good strategies because you want to go through your deck really fast, and then you want to also be able to just play your. You want to be able to play your deck over and over, and you want to be able to not play your deck over and over. You want to be able to burn your deck out as fast as you can. At the same time, you want to keep your hand full for counter strategies, for playing more Alice's Worlds, and the best way to get an Alice's World out is to pump your field with a bunch of 1-drops. Now, admittedly, this is kind of a... because Sandstorm exists, this is a lesser strategy because 1 Sandstorm and your field's wiped. And that really sucks. But there's not much you can do about it, so go for the fun strategy. Then, of course, I run another mana dork. Well, not a mana dork because she costs 2. Melfi, or Sorceress of Heavenly Wind Melfi. A 300/600 quick cast. When this card enters your field, prevent all damage that would be dealt to target J Resonator this turn if you play 2 or more cards this turn. So, is it dealt 2 or dealt by? I'm pretty sure it's dealt by now. I think it was errated to dealt by. Or was it errated to dealt 2? I don't know. But anyway, she also has Rest, produce 1 of any color. She's a mana producer with quick cast, so you can play it at the end of your opponent's turn, so you can leave Will up for a cancel, but then play her if you didn't cancel anything. She's just a really good ramp card in general. You want to play her in these kind of decks. Sadly, she's an elf, so you're probably not going to get the Sacred Elf or the Elf Resonator debuff, but all your elves are adding mana, except for the next one. I'm just going to flash it quickly. Lorite. Everybody knows Lorite at this point. If you don't know Lorite, take a good look. I'll leave it up there for a second. Pause the video if you need it. I don't want to go into it because he sucks and I hate him, but he's necessary. But next up, we have an actually interesting resonator, Sun Wukong, Enforcer of the Future. 2 green for a 600/500 Wanderer resonator with Will of Despair, which doesn't matter, and flying. Okay, so a 6/5 flying for 2. Not bad. But it also has, when this card enters your field, return target non-magic stone, non-J resonator card to its owner's hand. So, what's included in that is additions. See where I'm going with this? And regather. So, additions. You can bounce your Alice's World back to your hand, and he's a Wanderer, so he gives you another cost reduction on it. So you can play it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. It's beautiful. I love playing a Wukong, bringing my Alice's World back to my hand, and then taking another turn with it after I've already taken another turn. And then, obviously, at that point, I've drawn enough cards to where I play another Alice's World, and then I take another turn, and then I play another Wukong, bounce it to my hand. You see where this is going. You want to take 50 turns before your opponent even gets his third. But anyway, next up, we have Adam Brawley, the Unfathomable. Now, this is a staple card in World decks because you always need to be able to get rid of resonators that are duplicates. And that's really hard outside of like an altar or something. But altars require you to flip, so I didn't really want to run that. So, Adam Brawley, the Unfathomable. What does he do? He is a 2 blue and 1 for a 12 Apostle Cthulhu, attack 600, defense 800. Incarnation. Beautiful ability. Went over it in my last video. His Incarnation, I believe I also went over him specifically, but he has Incarnation for 1 of each color and 1 of each color, or 1 of any color and 1 of any color. So you can banish 1 resonator of whatever color, light, I guess, blah, and another 1 of any color. So as long as you have 2 resonators to banish that have color, you can play them for free. And then, depending on what you banished, you do an effect. White, gain 400 life. Red, it deals 400 damage to your resonator. Blue, draw a card. Green, produce any color will. Darkness, your opponent loses 400 life. So usually what you're using this for is if you had to play like an extra Venus just because you needed the card draw, or if you have 2 Acolytes and you just want to burn 1 and get a new resonator on the field, you know, for that sweet, sweet reduction in cost for Alice's World. He's also really good at eating. What I really like eating with him is a Spirit Bug and a Wukong, just because you'll see later, but also because Spirit Bug will then draw you another card, and you always want to be drawing as many cards as possible with this. Because taking extra turns depletes your hand like crazy. Trust me. Anyway, then the real, like, the win condition is taking lots and lots of turns, but to actually get you to that win, I have Titania, the Prideful Queen. Or Titania, Prideful Queen. Why isn't that the Prideful? Whatever. She is 1 blue, and again, 6. Ha! Did it right! Did it right! Anyway, 1 blue and 6 for a 1200 flying. As you play this card, you may rest any number of resonators you control. So all those Tamas, Venuses, Lily Spirit Bugs, etc., all those, you can rest those. You pay 2 less to play this card for each resonator rested this way. So, you can end up paying 1 blue for her if you rest 3 resonators, which you're usually going to be able to do, because you're spamming out all the 1-drops. It's just a way to use them, and then also get a 12/12 flyer, who does another thing. Other water resonators and other fairy tale resonators you control gain +2/+2. Oh no, not fairy tale, fairy. Other fairy resonators. The only other cards this is going to affect are other Titanias, Adam Brawley, and Lowy Spirit Bug, but you don't care about that. All you care about is that you dropped a 12/12 flyer on what could be turn, I don't know, turn 3? Probably turn 3. Yeah, it would take until turn 3, I think. Yeah. Until turn 3. I'm confused. But anyway, she's your big flyer, your 12 damage in the air. That's why you're taking all these turns, because you want to just swing in with her a billion frickin' times. And that's how you win. But then the support. The support cards are really varied because we're running a rainbow deck, We can use whatever we want. My personal preference starts with Glint of Insight. It is a 1 darkness, name a card, chant. Name a card. Your opponent reveals their hand and discards all cards that share a name with the named card. Also has remove 2 mystery counters from your J-Ruler, which there's no way to generate mystery counters in this deck. This card in your graveyard gains Remnant until end of turn. Okay, so this is really good because Lorites ruin your day. Like, absolutely ruin your day. So you play Glint of Insight, and you go Lorite, and then your opponent goes, oh darn, Lorites. Or they cancel it, in which case they just spent 2+ will to cancel a 1 darkness will card. Cool. And if they do, you know they have Lorites. Because Alice's World is an enter ability, so if they Lorite it, it feels bad, man. It feels super bad. But that's the glory. You go into Insight all their Lorites out, and then you do a big chain of Alice's World plays and replays, bouncing to your hand and all that nonsense. And then you, and your opponent just can't keep up resource-wise. But then, the next, also a darkness card, Final Battle. You may pay 1 black and X. You may pay 200 life rather than pay 1 up to X times to play this card, so you can pay 200 life, basically indefinitely to get it to whatever you need, which is really good, and that's usually what you do. Anyway, it has J Resonators your opponent controls gain -X until end of turn. So, the way this goes is, you usually pay it for 1 black, you don't pay any other will, sometimes you do, but usually you don't. Then you pay life, like 2,000 life or something, and it'll give -1,000 and -1,000 to your opponent's, the entirety of your opponent's board. The reason this is so good is because it's all your opponent's stuff. You can pay life into it so you don't have to expend this huge resource push. And it's a big-ass wipe. It's a one-sided board wipe. It's a one-sided board wipe. That's basically all you need. But having the alternate cost allows you to play it a lot more effectively. And of course, up next in support, we're running Seal of Wind and Light. This card, because we're running Magic Stone of Moonshade and Magic Stone of Moonlight, which I'll go over later, you have Moon Will, and you can awaken it. For those who don't know, Seal of Wind and Light, 1 white, 1 green, cancel target spell. That's it, just straight cancel a spell for 2 will. It also has an awakening ability for Moon. Players cannot chase to this card. So, if you pay 3 will into it, so 1 white, 1 green, and a Moon, it automatically cancels whatever you target with it. Your opponent can't chase to it, they can't do anything, they can't save their card, basically, which is really, really good. It's a really good combo stopper. You pay the Moon Will in, they go, oh no, I can't cancel it, oh no! It's really good. It's really good and it's really amazing. Oh, lost my train of thought for a second. But next up, we have an actual card that was built for Scheherazade in the Scheherazade deck. This is her spell, so it references her name exactly. All right, story is told in 1001 Nights. 3 green for a spell chain instant. Put target resonator on top of its owner's main deck. If your J ruler is Liberator of Wind, her ruler side, or Scheherazade, the Teller of 1001 Stories, her J ruler side, remove it from the game, then search its controller's main deck, graveyard, and hand for all cards with the same name and remove them from the game instead. Then that player shuffles his or her main deck. Oh my god. That is amazing. Now, I'm not sure, but I think because there's a period between the second part and the last one, you would put a resonator on top of its own main deck, then they would shuffle it, I think. But that might not be the case. But because they're always going to shuffle it because your ruler is the ruler that it mentions, so you are nixing a resonator from their entire deck. What is it? I don't think it's graveyard, main deck, hand. So other copies on the field won't be affected. But say you hit a Lorite, all their Lorites are gone for the entire game. It's a 3-will investment, but this card has such power. You can, if they have a key resonator on the field, you can remove that Resonator and just utterly annihilate their entire strategy. This is an amazing card. It fits perfectly with the amazing ruler. Because the ruler gives you exactly what you need, and her card removes exactly what your opponent needs. So, yahoo. Then we have a last card coming in to back up everything, just in case somehow one of your Alice's Worlds gets discarded, or gets destroyed while in the field somehow, or whatever, or what have you. I run Genesis Creation, 2 white and 2 for a spell chant. Put up to 1 target addition field and up to 1 target Resonator from your graveyard into your field. So you can bring back an Alice's World. Cool. And a Resonator, if you don't have any Alice's World in your graveyard, you can bring back like a Wukong. The best thing ever is bringing back a Alice's World and a Wukong. Then you stack it so that the Wukong goes off after the Alice's World. So then your Alice's World goes off. You get another turn, and Wukong returns that to your hand. Oh, it's like a 2-turn. Oh, it's so. It's beautiful. It's just a backup card to bring back your stuff that you really need, and potentially bring back your Alice's World. Oh, it also has another part. Put up to 1 target Magic Stone from your graveyard into your Magic Stone area. This deck runs Spirit Stone, so you know. I think Spirit Stone was. Spirit Stone was only banned in New Frontiers, so this is fine. I'm pretty sure. If not, oh well. Swap out the Spirit Stones for something. I don't care. You're not really using it for that, but it's a nice bonus. Anyway, that's the deck which I have tied. Oh wait, no, that's not the deck. That's not it, because I still need to go over 2 more cards. Magic Stones. Starting with the card you will always pull every game with this deck. Magic Stone of Moonshade. Look at how beautiful that is. Okay, so it's a special magic stone. It has no type. It's activate rest, produce moon, or activate rest, pay 200 life, produce 1 of any color. This ensures that you always, 100% of the time, because Liberator of Wind gives it to you, you 100% of the time have all 5 colors of will. Cool. It sets up your deck. It allows you to run the insane color of Resonators that you have. I love that Red's not in this deck. I'd just like to point that out. I'm very sorry, Red, but you just had nothing for me. Anyway, next up, we have its counter card, the Magic Stone of Moonlight. It has Activate Rest, produce Moon, or Activate Rest, produce 1 will of any attribute that a Magic Stone you control would produce. Normally, you don't run many of this card because if you see it as your first card, oh, it hurts. I've had it happen to me. It hurts so bad because you have nothing. You have absolutely nothing that you could play with it. In this deck, not so, because you're always getting that Moonshade. Therefore, your Moonlight will always be able to add all colors. But in other decks, when you hit it first, unless you're running Hagia 3.0, I think Hagia 3.0, the Interdimensional Savior or something, she can use Moon Will as Green Will, so she's the exception. But those are the last 2 cards that I wanted to go over before I show you the beautiful deck that I have titled Woo! World of Sherry Oceans. Sherry puns. Ha ha ha! No one's done that before. I'm sure I'm the first. Don't need to look it up. I know. You can trust me. I put a bit more thought into this deck than I have most, so it's a bit better than most I've shown. Yeah, I think it's nice. Let me know if you have any alterations or card suggestions, etc., etc. Or etc. Oh god, etc. with the list. I don't know if there's any. I'm really trying to think of cards that can sacrifice your own additions, but I, for the life of me, cannot figure it out. Anyway, That has been this week's Ruler 101. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!